Oh man, what's going on? Howdy folks, how are you today? I'm getting ready I'm going to take that door apart because we've got some broken things out up in this region, which I'll get your eyes in there closer once we get to that spot. But basically, I want to fix that stuff up. That way when I'm going to close that door, I don't have any issues and there's no wobbling, because there's a little bit of wobbling and stuff. We'll get in there in a minute. Like I said, and I'll show you. Standing in front of this gorgeous piece of machinery, obviously my blue truck, featured on the shirt. You know what time it is. We doing it. I just want to get that taken care of. That way I don't have any problems with it. It's bugged me for a while, but I just never messed with it because I was always too busy doing other things. Well, I'm not too busy today to mess with it, and it's a beautiful day. Actually, it's really not. It's overcast. Sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it's not. It's about 50. Actually, it's 40, maybe 6 degrees with about an 8-mile-per-hour wind. So it's a little chilly. It's the high today, I think, is like 54. It's 4/22 is what the date is. So that's what's going on today. Pretty much got everything ready. This segment's brought to you by Defiance Truck Sales and Service. That's where I get a lot of parts and stuff from. They're right down the road. Big shouts to them. They got a bunch of international cab overs. If you're interested, check them out online. They've got them listed and stuff like that. And I'd like to say Miller Lite, but they don't sponsor me. Well, they don't. Defiance Truck Sales doesn't either. I just give them a plug because I like them. They're good people. So they take care of me when I need parts and stuff like that. They never hold back when I say, hey, I want multiple. So it's what it is. Let's get that right there. Let's get you up in here so you can see what I'm talking about. I've already got the tools of choice here. I've got a T20 bit, and I've got a Phillips head screw with this impact driver that I can just buzz off real quick. No big deal. But I'm gonna climb up there real quick and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm thinking about replacing this guy because it's not too bad, but I don't really care for it because of the way the armrests are and stuff like that, and there's just not enough cushion for me. And if I'm going to, but I mean, I'll work it for a while, and then once I make some, it's not really too bad. It's just not the Bostrom, if you know what I mean. So anywho, the issue here is this guy is cracked right in here. If you can see that right there, there's a crack there. So this goes back and forth. So this piece needs to get some TLC taken care of it. And these are all blowed out right here. If you can see back here, these screws barely fit because they're tap drillers and they just opened up over time of shaking and rattling from that stuff. And these things have those little lock things in there, and they're blowed out. So I may need to run to the store and get some of those things you can stick back there that fold out like this, and then you screw them back. I may need to do that. Now I can't do that along the whole thing because we've got this window regulator situation right here, and this is one of those that's a chain drive. There's a little sprocket down at the end, and the chain just goes around like this and pulls it up and pulls it down. So once I get this torn apart, I'll bring you back and show you. It's nothing really. I've done this before when I've changed out the door handle on the other side and stuff like that. It's just a bunch of screws and taking it off. That is an Allen. Pop that bad boy off, get back in there, take that off. Bam, I can pop that panel out, unhook that. There's no light in there, so it never comes on, so I don't have to worry about it draining my batteries or anything like that. It's just one of them situations. So yeah, still no radio in this truck though. So that's another thing I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get after that one of these days when I you know, get to it. But it's what it is. So yeah, still no radio thing. Won't even turn on here. It'll probably turn on, it just may not run, but it's what it is. So I can hear it, there's just no volume. Yeah, nothing. Mute, unmute, still nothing. And I've got these gloves on. Even though I've got these gloves on, they still touch and work. But yeah, that's what's going on today. So once I get back, you'll see what's going on. On the show, on the Chad Teagan YouTube channel.
control me.
Better get Frankenstein cleaned up.
So I've got this all taken apart. Probably took me about 25-30 minutes because you know what I mean, I don't ever rush anything. Both panels laying on the ground there, that big ass cord there coming from somewhere. Couldn't get it through that little hole. It's what it is. Here's that chain drive sprocket I was talking about. There's the sprocket up here in this chain drive, so when you crank at it, it just goes around the thing. Now these are both brand new. I replaced both of these on these windows when I first started running this truck because they were super stiff and hard, so I was able to get brand new ones off of face space from some dude that was selling them somewhere in California. They took about a week to get here. It wasn't no big deal. It was kind of nice. I got the stuff. When you take this off, this guy right here has a little pin in it that goes, this little pin goes in this right here, so this is where that goes. So there's an arm that goes over for the latch to go over here to make this mechanism go from there to there. That's where that latch is at, basically. Then there's a little cotter pin that goes on the back of here that right there, this guy right here goes through that hole right there. That's what pushes the window up and down, blah blah blah. And that is going to need replaced because that's not very good looking. Whether we do it today or not, I don't know. I mean, it still does what it needs to, you know what I mean, because it just goes up and down like so whatever. But anywho, this is what I'm talking about right here. You see this big crack, this big gash right here, and I don't necessarily just want to put something behind it, because some of these right here, right here, right here, right here, up in there, right here, and right here are for the metal part that goes on here. Now these are all okay because obviously you can see they go into here and they're all nice and tight. That's these guys right here. They all go into these spots. There's 1, 2 that are tapped out. So the rest of these are nice and tight. So this is all nice and tight down around the bottom and stuff, except for right up here at the top. So that's what the problem is, right up here at the top. So what I want to do is I may go and run to the store and get some of that JB Weld, that fiberglass kit stuff, and try and throw some between there and putty or mud it. And then I would still need something, because you see how this one has that right there, so that holds that in, but this thing's way blowed out and drilled. And to be honest with you, that is right there on the back of that, as you can see. Now getting that off may be a pain in the butt. I might put some vice grips or something on it and try to pull that off after I put some lube on it, because it's obviously kind of gross. I mean, that might be something more than what I want to do. I may even take the cutoff tool and just stick it somewhere and try to buzz that off. That way I don't have to deal with it. And then I could go to the store, like I said, and get one of those things that expands and then stick it in there. My only thing is I would have to have it so a certain, you know, it can only be a certain length because of the fact there's glass back here. I don't want it scratching it up. That's why I'm kind of sketched about doing these ones too and going with those things. This over here would be okay. I'd be able to do that. But the thing about it is how long is that going to last before that plastic ends up breaking off? Now I should probably get a whole new piece here, but I don't believe I can. I wouldn't mind getting a whole new door if I could, because this thing is broke off obviously, and I've just never replaced it, so it's what it is. It doesn't leak too bad or anything like that, but you know, this whole section is something else, but it's 40 years old. So you know, I cleaned some stuff out of here, and I didn't realize that there was a nut on the back of that for one of the bolts that was down there. So that's what's going on. We got her taken apart now. I got a little bit of belches going on from the Miller's lights, but that's what it is. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. I'm fixing this up. I do have some stuff in there. It's like the putty, but I don't think that's going to work. So I may go and get one of those things that you mix together, because I have never been let down by that mix stuff. I've used that mix on a radiator tank. I used that mix on a fuel tank, and that stuff is just, so I'm pretty sure if I mix that and put that together, that stuff would be solid. And then I got one of those screws that went back there. I just have to make sure it was super tight. But then the problem with that is sticking it in there to get it to go in all the way and then pulling it to screw it. It would still be somewhat of an issue, but I can put that armrest on right now with everything off, because it just goes on by itself, the 2 screws. And that's the main problem from that being broke right there out like that, that causes the door handle to pull off and stuff like that. And if I could just get that, and I thought about running some kind of metal strip behind it and then screwing into it, but then I would be, you know, doing more drilling and stuff like that, and it wouldn't be completely flush. So my options are limited, if you know what I mean. So I've got this guy in a vise right here. I'm going to take this cutoff tool and hopefully attempt to cut this one off, because I'm trying to figure out what I can do to stick that one in the back here. So I'm going to buzz this off real quick. Hopefully. Kind of cut into it a little bit, you know, kind of disappointed, but it's what it is. At least that one's off. I don't have to worry about it anymore, so that's nice. Get that out of there so it ain't burning anything. Now I'm gonna get this thing out of the vise real quick. Nope, wrong way. That way it doesn't deform it, which it's rubber and it didn't, so that's cool. Yeah, I just cut into it a little bit right there. Nothing too big of a deal. So at least that's taken care of. Now I can figure out what I can stick behind this and actually fit through this, because I don't know if I'm going to run to the store or not. I do have some stuff. I've got a I've got different lock washers and stuff like that. And I've got this right here that I'm going to probably use. It's got this little nice fiberglass stuff and the mix panel right here. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll use that on that broken section real quick. But I've got this guy right here. I was thinking, and this guy right here's got that little grabber on the back, but I'd really like to get a lock washer, because I'd like to be able to just throw that through there. I couldn't put that through to see if it was too long, if it's going to scratch the window, because remember, that's what I'm concerned about. But I necessarily just can't stick something in there because that's still broke. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that stuff, and I'm going to try to get it in there. I got a big enough gap to where I should be able to, you know, pull it out like that and then press it in and hold it. Maybe stick something on there, just like some duct tape to hold it to. That would also work. Anything with a little bit of strength and bond would be perfect. Maybe I could get a, now that I'm going to figure that out right there, I can get metal strip or something and put on the other side to where it'll catch it. I cannot, this is too big, unfortunately. May need to trim some of that down. See, that's just too big right there. It won't go up all the way, or I would just use something like this. Well, the sun's coming back out. I could probably take this bomber off, but once the sun goes away, I'm not going to, you know, it'll be cooler. So we're making some progress. I don't want to leave. I do have my wallet and keys. If I need to jump in the Cadillac and run uptown, I could if I needed to, but hopefully I don't. So we'll see what's going on. Well, folks, I'm bringing you back right now because I feel like it's important. Never left the house, okay? I put some of this stuff right here, which who knows if it'll work or not, in that one crack where the little armrest pad was at, where I just got done cutting that piece off. I took a washer and I flattened the top out. I stuck it up in there. I found a bolt that I had up in here, my handy dandy stuff from when I took all of that stuff out of that white truck when I got the parts for Frank. I grabbed all the hardware I could when I was taking that interior. I like to have extra stuff, if you know what I mean, because you never know when one of these are going to pop out of your interior that's holding the stuff in. So I was digging through some stuff I had left over from everything that I do on the trucks, and I was able to, I found these, and you remember I used this stuff right here on the floor of when I put the wood floor in, I'd stick these down and they'd go into the wood. That'd grab into the wood, and then I'd screw through the aluminum to get that wood to tack. Well, that up there, that plastic, fiberglass, whatever, is soft enough for me to be able to stick these. And I like the fact that this is big, and it's going to cover some area. So basically what I'm doing, I'm going to take you out there real quick. I'm going to use these, but what I'm going to have to do is I'll either need to go to the store, or I'll put these in the vise and I'll use the cutoff tool and I'll snatch some of them off and I'll just buzz them off, or I'll just go get the shorter ones. Now, these are the same size screws that are out there in the ones that I took off from the panel. The only thing is that stuff is fine thread. This isn't, but I do have some stuff over here that these are the exact same ones, but they're fine thread too, so they're not going to work. So if I needed to go to the store, it would just be for these. But I'm only going to need probably maybe a handful, maybe 5. So what I'll do is I'll probably just stick them in the vise, grab the cutoff tool, and just boom, buzz them off, file them down, make sure they go in. You know what I mean? I got the tap and die, so that's what it is. But let's go out here instead of while I'm blabbing. That one's empty, and I'll show you basically what I'm doing with this. I'm just by hand pressing them in to this section. I've already got 2 stuck in there. See how that is right there? That guy right there. Get you a little bit of that. Just some of that. Now, when I put that screw in, it's going to pull that tighter probably. Unfortunately, I couldn't get one back there because there's a few of these that I end up taking the backs of these off. And I was able to use the vice grips on the one side and drill the other ones out. The other ones I couldn't, which it's not that big of a deal. So I've got one good one right here. I've got this one right here, and that's pressed in pretty good. There's one that's stuck in there that I couldn't get out. That is a good one, so I don't have to worry about that. And then that one's stuck in there, which I'll throw some goop or something in there. Then when it slaps in, maybe it'll just tighten up. Who knows, but I doubt it. I got this one. I'm going to be able to put one right here, and that's the one we're going to do. Can't do this one. I've got one right here I can put in, and then this one has the thing stuck in it, so I'm not going to mess with it, but it's okay because this is right here. So this guy holds that panel tight anyways, and all those are good except for that one and that 2 right there, which is not a big deal. That's just 2 that's not. So that door is going to be more stiff when it's on there. So let's I'll just maybe hook you up to the clutch here if I can, the clutch pedal. Maybe not, I don't know. Okay, right here's the spot I can hook you on that right there like that. So maybe you can see, I don't know what all you can see, but I'm going to be right here. So yeah, I can see my hand. I'm going to turn you just a skoge. That way you can see more of my hand. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking this thing and I'm sticking it up in a place that I want it. So 1, 2, skip 1, that one, 3, skip that one. And I'm putting this washer behind it. And I'm basically taking this right here, I'm sticking it in there like that, and I'm just squeezing down on it and clamping it, and that's going right into, it's going right into there. So that is basically what I'm doing. Now I'm not going to where it's going all the way. I'm just going enough to where it's starting to grab, and then I'll be able to stick that bolt right in there and tighten it up to where I feel like it's snug enough. And for some odd reason, if it ever loses any looseness, I can always tighten it up more because I know that's going to grab it. Now I just have to be careful when I'm shoving these in that I make sure they go in straight and stuff like that. But there will be, I feel like those holes are big enough. They're going to be, you know, if there's a little bit of play, it's not a big deal. So I got one more that I can do here real quick, and then I'll be done with these, and I'll be able to go and take care of those bolts and shorten them up, because I really don't need them too big. And I've got this up here, and I'll show you real quick. I'm clear of the glass, and I've got an actual nut and a nice washer on the back of that there that's holding that, so I don't need to worry about anything like that. I'm pretty much just making sure that this thing's going in straight when I'm doing it. And like I said, even if it doesn't, it'll be okay, because I can kind of move it around to where I need it to be for me to get that nut and stuff or that bolt in there. So it'll be fine, or the screw, if you will. I don't know what you want to call it. What do you call one that's flat? What do you call one that's got a tip on it? What do you call one that's a flathead? What do you call one with a hex? You know, screw, bolt, so be it. I don't really care. I just know that we're fabbing this up the best we can, and we haven't left and we haven't spent any money. So that's the positive thing right here. That's what we're doing. So let me go and take care of these, because obviously you can see that's a lot longer than that one right there. That's how short that one is, and that's how long that is. So basically what I need is to shorten some of these up, because it's the fine thread versus the, you know, yeah, that'll go right in there. And that's just in there enough to where it'll hold it. And then once that gets that panel on there, because I'm getting ready to touch the glass when I screw that all the way in, and that's not even close. So basically I'm going to need to buzz a bunch of those off, which is no big deal because I've got enough of these in there. And I'll never get these mixed up because they're fine. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 4 of them. So basically just need to cut 4. Now, unfortunately, this one's a little bit longer than what I want, but now I'm just taking this file here and filing this bad boy down. All right, well, we're back out here. We've got all of our screws and stuff to where we need the size and whatnot. I just did that one there for you. That way you didn't miss it. So I basically took the crank handle and I cranked this down right here because I want this to be down for when it needs to go in this guy out for the window, so I can just slide my hand back here and do this. Basically what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to pull this stuff up and put it back up here. I need to get this interior piece back up in here because I need to throw this panel on real quick to get it up here. And then I'm going to probably put like 1 screw in the side there, that way I can still get my arm back here to where it's held up. I can still get my arm back in here to get this in, because I got to stick this cotter pin right here in that thing to where it'll go on the back side and hold this window from flopping out, if you know what I mean. And it'll keep that window from coming off the track, because if this isn't in here, if it breaks, it'll come off the track and it'll cause a big problem. So I'm gonna stick you right back here for now. It may not be the best, you know, view of what I'm doing, but at least you'll get the gist of it, and I'll be able to somewhat talk to you while I'm doing it. Maybe I'll stick you over here. Yeah, that's probably good enough right there. I'll get you right there where you can see what's going on there. Now I'm going to take this off because I don't need it on. I need as much skinny arm as I can get up in there probably. So let's just throw this over the back here. Let's move our beer to a safe place. Let's get this crank up. This is somewhat heavy. I mean, it's not horrible, but you gotta get this panel to where it's not in the way or bugging anything. This is one thing about working alone. You don't have someone else's hands to help you out, if you know what I mean. So if you're getting an old butt crack view, it's just what it is, if you know what I mean. Now let's get that up there where it'll hold it, and I'll put a smiley face or something there where you're not sitting there seeing it the whole time. It goes down there like so. Hopefully you're high enough to where you didn't get a bunch of butt crack, but if you did, it's what it is. This thing does not like to just stay up there either, so basically need to get 1 screw in somewhere. I freaking cut off the old screwdriver. Big deal. Okay, so that's going to hold that in place right there. So I'll be able to get this cotter pin, and I'll be able to see if I can get this up. Yeah, I don't have much far to lift it either, so that's nice. See if I can shove that back like that. Now I gotta just weasel this cotter pin in there, which I am right in your way. You know what I mean? Got the beginning of it. Got the start of it. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. No, get in there. Oh, you son of a buck. It's splitting out on me. See how it's splitting out on me? Now we got some company anyway, so give me a second here, and I just got some lube on my fingers from the back of that. Well, after a few attempts, really didn't take that long. I probably could have just kept shooting. I finally got it. So now I'm going to go and hook this latch up here, and then I can flip this panel up and pretty much start putting it back together. And we'll be able to see how my handy dandy new stuff worked. Shut it open. Get her in there. Plop this pin down. Oh, we got some of the goop on me, which I didn't want to do. Hopefully none of it's drying out too much. And then I can actually put this up into place, if you will. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these new ones in real quick. No. To see how it holds. That is a little bit. Not that one. Maybe this one. Let's see how this one goes in. Come on. No, not that one. That one don't want to go in. Okay, that one's going in. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh God, I love that. Perfecto. Now if I could only get these other ones in without really messing too much of anything up. These look like they need to pretty much should have done them last maybe, because some of these other ones don't look like they're lining up properly. So maybe let's get these other ones to where they'll line up perfectly. Get one of these other ones in real quick. That way we don't have any alignment issues, if you know what I mean. We don't need anything like that, even though we've already got one over there. Yeah, everything else should be okay. You know what I mean? Nice. That's a lot tighter just from that one being up there. That's it. Just that brand new one that I put in. That's so much tighter and nicer. So I may get a hand job here and see if I can't get these other ones to go in. Okay, this one's going now. Just like that. Yes, baby. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Let's stick a shorter one in here. Oh yeah, that's what's up. Where's that other one? Oh no, I just popped that one out. Son of a bitch. Okay, maybe not. Okay, it did pop out the thing, but I was able to fish it back, and I don't know what all you can see, because I can't tell what, yeah, you should be able to see it all up there. I was able to fish that one back, and I got it to where it would tighten up. So now all this panel is tight, so that's awesome. You don't have to worry about this guy being loose up here anymore or anything like that. And extremely happy about this situation here, for not having to leave the house at all and getting this to go in there to where it's now tight, if you know what I mean. You can just go around the rest of the door, slap them in as they need to be in, and basically the bottom is all I got to do. I've got one right here I need to do, and then I can put that cover panel back on there. And then I will be happy and satisfied with this, and I don't have to worry about it popping and flopping and doing the whole wado on me, pulling out for some odd reason. I am missing a ton of these screws unless they're stuck to that magnet, which they probably are not. Where in the heck did they all go? Well, I can use these ones that are here that were for those other ones that were up there. Maybe there was some spots that didn't have any period, but could have taken some. No, that's not long enough. No, that's not long enough. All right, I do have some stuff in the garage though that I'm gonna go grab real quick. I got some brand new Francie ones. I can't remember where I got these. I think I went and got these somewhere, but there's like five of them in here. They're the exact same size that I need, and they're brand spanking new. So, and they're the fine thread. Yes, perfect. Get this open, get these on, that panel back on, and plot bling, blot bloom. I think I lost one. I'll have to go digging around. Nice. I actually only need one more, looks like. So the panel's nice and tight now, I can tell you that much right now, and I should have probably there's a nut on the back of that I was going to tighten that I didn't do. We might be able to get something back here, like a flathead, to grab that bolt that's turning on it. I don't necessarily want to be pulling this panel off to get to that. I'm not too worried about it. It's nothing for me to be too worried about. I can tell you that much right now. Let's pick the old wind up. Okay, the window's up. Door latch is good. Got that guy rattling around a little bit. Nothing to be worried about or anything like that. did that thing go? That's for a stupid light anyways. Which I really don't even need because it doesn't work, but if I can hook it up, I will, just for show, but I'm gonna go in the garage and I'm gonna get my little handy jar stuff. That way I can, when I put this back together, I can use all the screw type instead of having 4 that are the T20 on here that I don't necessarily need, because I've got that whole jar of stuff, if you will. Let's get up here and truck real quick. We got these holes lining up where they need to go, if you know what I mean. Now, pretty simple stuff. I mean, I'm using stuff from the house is always nice that I have laying around, because occasionally you buy stuff and then you have too much of stuff. So whenever you can use that stuff up, that's always extremely nice. To worry about buying other crap, if you know what I mean. I don't like to run to the store every time I have a project anyway, so it's about perfect for me just to be able to go, grab the stuff I need, and utilize the stuff I have at home. You know what I mean? I like that a lot. Come on. Well, I've got everything put back together on the door here, so let's get this on, and we'll climb up in there and we'll close it and we'll check it out. It is 10 times better. Actually, let's go with 100. It is 100 times better than what it was when we started. Tips from here is we were able to use stuff that we had around the house. We didn't have to go anywhere to get anything. We just used extra stuff from before on projects that we've used on this. So the money we spent on this before was put right back into it. Yes, it was not just, you know, simple. I had to cut those screws, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I have got the stuff here and I can do it. It's not a big deal. We didn't cut ourselves. We're not bleeding. We didn't lose any limbs. So all in all, I would say that's a win for this project today. Now, I know that I'm not going to have the frustration with this as I had before, because look at how stiff that is. Before, this was super loose AF. Now, just me putting that goop on there and that with that washer on the back with that locking bolt is done a number. But this being tight right here, for these ones, grabbing this and the ones that were in there is fantastic, because I used to have 1, 2, I had 3, 4 that were loose. I only had well, that one was the only one that was tight right there, and then those were all loose. These ones all were loose down through here. So now I've got that whole section that's super tight, you know what I mean, and I can jerk that around and shut the door, not have to worry about it, pull it closed, not have to worry about it. It's perfect. So I am completely satisfied with that, and that's what's up. That is what is up. And let's get that window cranked up. And the window jamb is right here. And it's bada bling, blada bloom, blada bling, blada bloom. So that's what's good in the neighborhood. Yeah, that thing's nice and stiff, and I don't have to worry about it flopping around and shit and pissing me off. The only thing I'll have to worry about is a little rattlage from that handle on the inside, which I don't need to change that. It functions properly. It works fine. It's just the little springs in the back might be a little loose to where that handle can flop around and stuff, which I could throw something back up in there just to keep it from vibrating. But if that's the worst thing I have to deal with this door, I am not going to sweat it. I can tell you that much right now. So until we come back with something else we're working on this old truck, you know what we say: like, share, subscribe, comment. Don't really care what you say, but tell your friends, yeah, man, we're maybe making a comeback. I don't know. Till then, we will see you.